Good morning, gang. Happy Saturday morning. What a Friday, huh? God. All right. Kind of a lot of stuff that affects all of us here. I could go in and talk about the climate activists who are now saying that we shouldn't have dogs because dogs contribute too much to climate change because they eat too much beef and yada, yada, yada. No thanks, I'll keep my dogs. I got a better idea. We'll just get rid of the climate change activists. Okay, that'd be more efficient to me. Trust me, I like dogs a lot more than I like climate change activists. I'm going to get rid of the things I don't like. But now, yesterday was an interesting day, to say the least. A lot of stuff happened that affects us. The first one, the most important one, was the SCOTA's decision yesterday about federal judges and issuing injunctions against executive orders. And SCOTA said, kick rocks, judges, you don't have the authority, okay? Which is very true. I mean, it amazes me. You are a circuit court judge. You serve in the 5th Circuit, the 7th Circuit, the 9th Circuit, whatever. You are a circuit court judge. Your rulings should impact the circuit that you are in, okay? But no, we get people that aren't qualified to sit on a small claims court issuing rulings saying the president can't deport illegals or pick something. Birthright citizenship, that one came up, that one wasn't decided. But SCOTUS basically slapped the judges upside the head and said, stop, you ain't doing this anymore. None of it stands. All your decisions are poof, gone, end of story. Mr. President, feel free to issue your executive orders again because you have the constitutional authority to do so. And that's what we're going to see. We're going to see plenty of these executive orders come through, and chances are the pendulum won't stop in the center. It's going to swing, and the executive branch is going to go, okay, let's see how far we can push this. This is the problem. We don't get in the middle where we should be. We get way left or way right. Needless to say. All right. So that was that. So yes, we can figure that we're going to have plenty of illegals kicked in the ass and sent out of the country. That's good. The other one that was in there was a Maryland case, I think it was Maryland, where the Supreme Court ruled that parents had the right to take their kids out of classes that were teaching alternative lifestyles, that the students did not have to read books that had these same LGBTQ perversions in them, okay? I mean, there's a difference between reading a book that has a gay character, watching a TV show that has a gay character. I mean, we've all watched them. I mean, hell, you can't turn on the TV anymore without one, okay? But I mean, even if we go back 20 years, there was still one. I mean, go back to watching MASH in the 70s. Originally, Klinger was supposed to be a gay character, okay? It was funny. It was okay. We got it. There's this subsect of people in the country, no problem. But when they start teaching elementary school kids about, I'm going to try to keep this clean, different ways of expressing affection with members of the same sex, that draws a line, okay? You're not even teaching kids about reproduction until, at least when I was a kid, until 8th grade when you took health class, all right? You know, about the time kids are attaining puberty. But no, now these schools want to teach this to kids when they're 4 and 5 years old. And SCOTA came down and said, nope, sorry, parents' rights. School can't force the kids to read this. The schools can't make it mandatory, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Which is going to open up a whole new can of worms, okay? Because the schools, because of course this is against public schools. Public schools are publicly funded. So now you could get into an issue of the funding for these public schools if enough parents are pulling their kids out of these schools or doing whatever. So one of two things is going to happen. Either these programs are going to get tossed, which they should, in my opinion, okay? Or you're going to have an uproar on property taxes, and we can get into a whole conversation about that, okay? Y'all know me. I am a somewhat proponent of property taxes because I like to have police and fire and stoplights and roads. Those things need to get paid for somehow. But I do not agree. I have never agreed with property taxes paying for the school system. All right. I'm sorry. If you don't have kids, you shouldn't be paying into the school system. It just works that way. You know, I don't pay gas tax if I don't drive a car. Why should I pay school tax if I don't have anybody in school? My thoughts. Okay, that should be something different. And I know there's an argument completely against me. So be it. I'm entitled to my opinion just like you're entitled to yours, right? You have a different thought process. Feel free to go make a video on your channel how everybody should pay for the schools. We're fine. Okay. So that was that one. Then, of course, we had the trade talks issue yesterday. In case you notice that this is going to be fun, especially if you're Canadian. Get ready, okay? Yesterday, Trump cut off all trade talks with Canada. The end, over, it's done. Not happening. And the reason, Canada wants a digital service tax that any company doing business in Canada has to pay a 3% tax to the Canadian Finance Department. So if, pick something, you're watching this video in Canada, YouTube, Google, has to pay Canada a tax. I'm in the United States, Google's in the United States, you chose to watch it in Canada, therefore a United States company has to pay Canada a tax. Pick something, okay? You get on Twitter, you get on Facebook, you get on Instagram, Canada wants a cut. No, sorry, it's not a Canadian company, you're not taxing them. Not going to happen. If they sell a product there, all right, you get your sales tax. That's it, okay? But last I checked, nobody's paying to watch my videos, okay? So why should Google have to pay a tax to Canada? And Trump's along the same way. No, not going to happen. Canada's like, this is our red line in the sand. Donald Trump's like, good. I'll tell you what your new tariffs are going to be by the end of the week. Good. This is how crazy this gets. I mean, again, we don't know 90% of what goes on in government, but this is the stupidity that we have to deal with. That all these socialist countries, yes, Canada, you're a socialist country, don't even say otherwise, okay? Figure, crap, we've fleeced our entire country. Now we've got to figure out how to fleece somebody else and see if they're stupid enough to pay us, right? Okay. Canada's a failing country, just like Europe is a failing continent, okay? They will collapse. All of Trump's jokes about the 51st state, I don't want, again, I have no desire to make Canada the 51st state. Not that Canada isn't a beautiful country. Canada's 2/3 full of liberals. I don't want more liberals in this country. Okay, that's it. You get the government you vote for, right, Canada? You got it. This is, you chose to do this. I'm waiting for Trump to start putting taxes on Canadian tourism. Canadian medical tourism. There we go. You know, gee, you can't see your doctor for 8 or 9 months because of your great socialized medicine program, so you want to come down to the United States? Well, you can pay the medical bill, and there'll be a 50% tax on you coming down too. How do you like that there, Mr. Prime Minister? Because that's what's coming, right? You know, it's really hard to win a poker hand when you're holding a pair of twos, and that's what Mark Carney's got. We'll see what happens. So those of you guys in Canada, there you go, Canada, I hope to God you can get your unelected prime minister in line to save your country, because otherwise you're in a world of hurt. It was an interesting Friday afternoon, Friday evening in the world of what goes on, but it is what it is. Now it's off to Saturday. Thank God the news cycle gets a little quieter. I'm going to go out and chip a bunch of brush and clean up more and work in the yard. A lot more sun in the backyard. Might have room for another garden now. There you go. Have a good one, y'all. Pinball out.